Good morning, doctor and all my friends. Before I start my talk, I will introduce myself. My name is Mok Ling Ying and my matrix number is 202546. Today, I will talk about the policy and law for children. So today, the talk of the issue is child abuse, which means I will talk about the policy and law for children to solve the child abuse issue happen in Malaysia. Firstly, I will talk about the meaning of child abuse. So what is child abuse? Child abuse is any behavior that harms a children that under 18 years old, causing them injury, death, emotionally harm, or risk of serious harm to a child, including physical abuse, sexual abuse, and emotional abuse, as well as neglect and exploitation. So in Malaysia, at least 1,000 child abuse cases reported in every year. Firstly, I will talk about the Child Act 2001, which is the policy and law for children to solve the child abuse issue happen in Malaysia. So, Child Act 2001 is consolidate the Juvenile Court Act 1947 and the Women's and Girl Protection Act 1973 and the Child Protection Act 1991. So the date of publication was 1 March 2001 and the latest amendment was 1 January 2017. So this act is related to the care and protection and rehabilitation of children. In this act, under section 17, physical abuse is known as physical injury if there is the substantial and observable injury to any part of the child's body. So such as a burn, a scar, a bone injury, a loss of hair or teeth, and others. The next is emotional abuse. Emotional abuse is known as emotionally injured if there is a substantial and observable impairment or the child mental or emotional functioning is not well. So if these all cases happen, there will be fine not assisting IM 20,000 or jail for a term not assisting 10 years or both. So in this act, doctors, members of the family, caregivers are mandated to immediately report if the children suspectly of physically injured, emotionally injured, or something child abuse cases happen. If they did not report to the police, a fine not assisting 5,000 or jail for a term not assisting 2 years or both under the section 27 to 29 in the Child Act 2001. So the law regulating the child's right has become increasingly important in Malaysia. So I think the Child Act 2001 is the reflection of the government's effort to combat the child abuse issue in Malaysia to happen. Secondly, I will talk about the second policy and law for children to solve the child abuse issue happen in Malaysia. So the second policy and law for children to solve child abuse issue, which is Domestic Violence Act 1994. The publication date of this act is 7 July 1994 in Gazette, and the latest amendment date is 20 February 2012. So in this act, the domestic violence is mean intentionally and unintentionally attempting to cause the victim fear and physical injuries. Besides that, they will cause them physical injuries to the victim and causing psychological abuse, which includes emotionally injured to the victim or economically abuse to the victim. So in this act, they will provide the protection of a person against the violence committed or the threatened by someone else if a relevant relationships exists between the persons. So in this act, they will have an interim protection order after the domestic violence is reported to the police. So what is an interim protection order? An interim protection orders are prohibiting the person against whom the order is made from using domestic violence against the child and made by the way of application to the court. So the court will make this interim protection order under the subsection 1 in this act, which will prohibiting the person to commit domestic violence to the children against the children. So this interim protection order will kiss upon the completion of the investigation. Next is if the person is break the law, he or she will be fined not exceeding 2,000 ringgit or impoverishment for a term not exceeding 6 months or both. Next is if the person breaks this law by using the domestic violence on the protected person, he or she will be fined not exceeding 4,000 or jail for a term not exceeding 1 year or both. In addition is if a person convicted for a second violation, he or she will be fined not exceeding 5,000 ringgit and jail not less than 72 hours to 2 years or both. The domestic violation report and recommendation will submitted it under the subsection 1A, order that one or more parties to be referred to the rehabilitative therapy, psychotherapy, or such other reconciliatory counseling. In conclusion, the Child Act 2001 is ensure that every child is entitled to protection and assistance without any discrimination and give further protection to the children. The Domestic Violence Act 1994 is to provide for legal protection in situation of domestic violence and matters in incidental territory and reduce the domestic violence happen in Malaysia. So I think that child abuse should be overcome in Malaysia. So Malaysia government had to overcome this issue by strengthening this policy and law to solve this issue. So that's all from me. Thank you.